In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own spinning pop-pop boat. Don't you hate it when you receive lots of excess packaging that just ends up in landfill? Well, today we're going to be recycling this piece of polystyrene by using it as the base of our boat. I need to start by drawing on a circle, so I placed a CD on top and drew around that. Then I put it onto a cutting mat, and I'm using a sharp craft knife to cut the circle out. And I'm also cutting off these ridges. This is going to be the base of our boat. For the engine, I'm going to use this copper pipe. It measures 3/16 of an inch in diameter, and it's generally used for automotive brake lines, so you can easily buy it at a car parts store or online. I straightened a length out and used a pipe cutter to cut a length approximately 38 centimeters long. Make sure to also deburr the inside of the pipe after you've cut it. Because it's copper, it's nice and easy to shape by hand. We need to bend a loop into the middle of the length, which I can do pretty easily just with my fingers. Next, I marked 2 points on our boat opposite each other and about 2 centimeters from the edge, like this. Then I found a screwdriver the same size as our copper pipe and used it to pierce 2 holes in our boat base where we marked. The next step is to bend our copper pipe a bit more so it lines up with the 2 holes we just made and slides straight through, like this. It's a nice and snug fit. And finally, we want to bend the end of each of these tails 90 degrees. Because it's quite a tight radius, it's difficult to do by hand, so I'm using some pliers. You do need to be very careful not to crush or fold the pipe. I did little bit by little bit. We also need to bend the other tail 90 degrees, but facing the other direction. And there we go, that's our finished pop-pop boat, and it's ready to try. First we need to make sure it floats correctly and it isn't off balance. This is looking really good and I don't need to adjust it. So now we need to prime the engine. To do this, I'm taking a big sip of water and holding it in my mouth. Then I'm using a drinking straw to blow the water into one end of the copper pipe until it comes out at the other end. The whole pipe is now full of water, primed and ready to use. So turn it upside down quickly and float it on the water. To heat our engine, I'm using a tea light candle, which I place underneath the loop here. Then go ahead and light it up. Sometimes these candles die down a little until they really get going. So I kept the lighter on it for a little while to help us with the initial heating of the water in the copper pipe. Then all of a sudden, when it's reached boiling point, off it goes, and round it spins. The candle provides enough heat for it to continue by itself, and it spins round surprisingly quickly. If it starts creeping around the lip of the bowl, you can just center it, let it settle, and off it goes again. And what's great about doing it in a glass bowl is you can see what's happening underneath too. So how does this actually work? As we know, the copper pipe is full of water, and when we heat it with the flame, we're actually causing the water in the pipe at the bottom of the loop to boil. This creates a small amount of steam, which expands and pushes water out through one end of the pipe, which in turn results in fresh water being sucked in at the other end of the pipe. This replenishes the loop, and the cycle continues, constantly heating and pushing water out at one side and sucking fresh water in at the other side. Pretty cool, huh? In this case, the boat spins because of how we've angled the pipes underneath the polystyrene. If you find it a struggle to get it going, you can try putting the flame closer to the loop. I sat my candle on top of another one. You may also need to reprime the pipe with water if you can't understand why it's not working. But it picks up speed really well. And it's great fun to watch. If I stop and hold it, you can really see the whole thing pulsing and shaking as the engine pulls and pushes water through. Set it free and off it goes. Of course, don't touch the pipe above the flame because it will be very hot. I was in a craft shop recently